Good evening. Welcome once again to another exciting edition of the Economic Forum Show with YUSUF. Watch us live this and every Tuesday on our Facebook page and YouTube channel at YUSUF TV. Like, share, and leave a comment at the comment section below. As usual, today we are joined with our economic professor, Professor Abbas Mohammed El-Hamis Ali. And today on the show, we are going to hold discussions on the economic consequences of Galamsey. As we all know it here in Ghana, or I will refer it to as the illegal mining activities. And we are going to have an in-depth analysis of this topic today. You can also contribute by leaving a comment at the comment section below. Professor, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thank you for our viewers for continuing listening to us, as well as YUSUF TV for always giving us room to discuss issues that matter to us. Thank you.
Yeah. Professor, today we are going to hold discussions on the economic consequences of Galamsey. As we know it here in this country, this has been a major trending topic of discussion and across all administration. I mean, this has started for a very long time ago, and this has been one of the major causes why I would say the previous government had a serious voter turnout during the elections. Professor, looking at the nature of our country today, can you briefly explain what Galamsey is and why it has become such a present issue in Ghana?
Once again, like you, I've already started kind of giving us a tip of an idea what Galamsey is. So it's just a fancy way of looking at the illegal small-scale mining that we have, which operates outside the licensing, category of gold mining, to be specific. Yeah. Which requires a safety and environmental standards and rules to be followed. So this is a process of illegal mining activities that is happening across all aspects of our economy and regions, and it's becoming a big deal for us. And it's at a point why what I thought to be very present and very important in the sense that it poisons the rivers that we have that's feeding into our water supply. It degrades our forests. And then the cocoa lands that we need are also getting contaminated. And it fuels, the smuggling of the gold also leads to the lost revenue in terms of forex exchange that we're losing, as well as the tax revenue that we could be collecting. So you can think of it as an environmental, public health concern, as well as a macro physical problems that is taking away most important necessary forex revenue that we need to, start growing economically. So it's very important we talk about this. And I'm with the view that, just like many people have said, I think it calls for a national emergency, status at this point. It's critical that we call it what it is. It is a national emergency concern, and that any attempt to walk away from those terminologies is not doing us any service. You're actually doing disservice. Because this is currently what everybody is talking about, and looking at the videos that's going around and the facts that's on the ground, I think everybody should be concerned about the future and the future of the future generations that we have. So it's concerning in the sense that it's taking away our revenue is by about 60%, okay? And then it's taking away our investor, confidence in the system. People looking at this will be discouraged to come in. The good people will be discouraged to come in. And then it's taking away the lost taxes that we can actually get. So the chart you have speaks volumes. If you look at it, it's about 25% is lost, in taxes that we can collect from these illegal activities. And of that, about 15% will become a deterrent for people to come and invest in the economy. And then the forex reserve that we need to hold the city down, we're losing about 60% of it, due to these activities. So it's a 911. Anybody who's walking away from calling this national emergency is either playing politics with it or it's not being honest to us, because it's about the future generations. When would they be able to enjoy the things we enjoying if we
Yeah.
destroy the environment at the rate we destroying? You saw the recent research that came out about how the contamination that we have in our water system, on our
Yeah.
land. Every aspect of our food chain that is locally produced has been contaminated. Whether it's the water, whether it's the land, everything is contaminated. So very soon, and I'm even reading from the news that we have begun to import water. Is that the kind of economy that we want? So this cannot be any serious than it is right now. So I don't know why we're playing games with this, narrative where people are walking back and saying that they never call for national emergency. Yes, if you didn't, now it's time to call it because it's a national emergency. Yes, the government just came in about 8 or 9 months ago. It needs time, yes, but the fact is, it's a national emergency. So it's either he does something very critical, very serious, he takes it serious and start playing games. We do not want to be playing, oh, they called it national emergency, now they're walking back. Okay, we all agree right now it's a national emergency. So what are we doing about it? It's not about when you call it. It's about what are we doing right now. Can we be serious for once and stop playing politics about our lives and the lives of the future generation? Because if we're going to import water, then you're telling me that we're just losing the country altogether. Because I don't see the benefit of this activity. I don't care who you are, if you're gaining from it. I just want you to think about the future. Would you have a country where the money you're making can actually be spent in the country when we're losing our lands? All right, we're losing our water. Nothing is stable. Where are you going to spend that money? Which country are you going to have to come back to? If you're in the process of enriching yourself, you're destroying everything, then where are you going to spend the money? Show me. A country where we're lacking healthcare facilities.
Yeah.
All right, we're destroying our water. We're destroying our forests. All right, and then if you make that money and you get sick, where are you going to go? There's no country for you. So it doesn't make any sense. It's time that we're honest with ourselves and look at the situation and be like, this is serious, and that we have to stop this practice and have find a better way of making sure that we take care of these resources in a way that's sustainable, that everybody will benefit. So that is how serious this is.
Exactly. Thank you very much. And in fact, there was a report that shows that now the quality of our cocoa has now decreased, and it is all in reference to the rise in Galamsey activities in this country. Professor, how has Galamsey historically evolved, and what economic factors have fueled its rise in this country?
It started as a small-scale neighborhood activities, right? Where even as a kid, you all know that we do have these resources. God has enriched us with so much resources, especially in Ghana, where it was localized. It wasn't a big deal because there was not much activity going on. But now it's been monetized by the involvement of people that we thought are serving us. All right, so it's grown into this organized criminal network that has crossed borders. Now we have Indians, Chinese, everybody participating, all coming in to take advantage of our weak structures. It is also, driven by high prices in gold, which has made this very attractive. And another reason why this has grown to where it is because of our rural unemployment. Because I always ask the question, if the youth are unemployed and they see this opportunity, that the gold prices are this much, and that if I participate in this activity, I can make this much, why wouldn't I? I would think for a second, why should I be unemployed? I have the strength, I have the will, I want to work, but there's no job. So it's a combination of a lot of factors. All right. And then we have weak enforcement in the sense that the public figures that are supposed to enforce this as the same guys that are participating on the other side. So if you have all these factors coming in, it's going to be very difficult for us to manage it. And that's the evolution of where we are today. It started like a joke, but now it's serious.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Galamsey has been with us since history because of the abundance of resources. Because I remember even as a young kid, I was young, probably when I was probably 6 or 7, I was taken to Dunkwa. There was illegal mining, but it wasn't at this scale.
Yeah.
I saw an activity going on that looks like illegal mining. Now I look back, I can remember that I've seen something, but it wasn't this much. There was no foreigners involved. It was all localized. It's like a small scale mining. Then it was not illegally like done this much. But the scale at which we're doing it right now is beyond levels you can think of.
Exactly.
It's degrading everything we stand for. Yes, so that's the evolution because of the high prices in the gold market, and then the foreign involvement of other countries. Because if you smuggling the gold out, if there's no country willing to buy, would you continue to do it?
No,
and that's where, that's where the UAEs are coming in. That's where Dubai is coming in. As our gold export, illegal mining gold exportation is increasing. All right. So is their import in Dubai. So it looks like there's a business, there's an interest outside that's driving these activities. Because somebody is ready to buy. When someone is ready to buy, you have a buyer, you do whatever it takes to supply the buyer.
Exactly.
And this is the network that any serious government needs to fight. And it becomes a very dicey situation because the same country you're trying to fight in stopping Galamsey is the country that is promising to fund your growth activities.
Yeah.
Dubai is going to give you billions of dollars to do your tech hubs and all of that. On the other side, they're smacking you in the face, encouraging smuggling of your gold. So now you have to figure it out. How do I fight this? This is why the current administration is at a loss, and now they're walking back on everything they talked about.
Yeah.
It's because it's a bigger fight than they thought.
Yeah.
Because the people that are involved, the countries that are involved, are the same countries that are telling you that we're going to fund your growth activity. They're going to fund this side, but they're taking much more on the left side.
Yeah.
So now this is where it gets really tricky. So as a nation, we have to understand what we're dealing with and stop playing politics and stop for a minute and call it what it is, a national emergency where everybody is involved, all hands on deck, let's figure this out. Because it's beyond anything we can talk about here.
Exactly.
It's deeper than what we're thinking. It's deeper than what we think. Because when you do the research, you're going to find out that the people that are involved, the countries that are involved, it's no longer illegal mining from the locals only. That's a concerning thing. The involvement of foreign interest is what makes it very dicey.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now.
And of course, you said it started as something which was a small scale mining, but now we do have armed illegal miners in this country, and that is even the dangerous aspect of this. Professor, what is the estimated cost of Galamsey to Ghana's former mining industry? Because now they are trying to differentiate between the small scale mining and the normal mining industry, the former mining industry. What is the cost of Galamsey to the former mining industry?
According to the estimate that the research shows, we've lost about $1.1 billion in unreported gold exports in 2019 to 2021. All right, so that is the loss. Sales that have bypassed the official channels. So the formal sector's royalty and taxes, I told you we're losing about 25% of our revenue, but about $1.1 billion is lost through the illegal process. So that's the gap you're showing. It's a huge gap of what actually goes through the formal channels versus, what is going out as a result of underpricing of the illegal mining.
Yeah.
Because if you're smuggling out something outside, then the chances are that you're going to sell it at the cost lower than what is being sold in the market. And the combination of all of that, the combination of the losses, the economic impact that we mentioned, the investor confidence, the investor deterrence, loss of taxes, okay, forex revenue losses, all of that tied down to $1.1 billion we're losing. Something we could use to actually grow the economy. We're losing that. So that's where we are. That's how much is hitting our revenue. 1.1 billion loss.
Yeah. Exactly. Professor, how does Galamsey affect government revenue generation, especially in terms of lost taxes and royalties?
So we said royalties is about 15%, 25%. With the taxes that goes, if you were formal, about 15% of the 25% of the revenue is lost in that sector. And then there is potential loss. All of that tied down together is what we said is about $1.1 billion. But if you look at the royalty alone, it's about 25%, as you have on the chart right there. Losses to taxes and royalties. So these are all monies that we're losing out that we can bring back to up the economy. All right. So at the same time, smuggling to UAE, all right, if you want to know where the money is being lost, it's mostly through the smuggling to UAE is a major vector that has been identified across all Africa. It's not only Ghana. So UAE is where all our gold is going. That's why they have the ability to sustain a gold market. We've had this conversation before. They don't produce a single ounce of gold, but they have the gold market. So the question is, where is that coming from? It's coming from, and they don't go through the formal channels. Only few goes through the formal channels. If you recall, the last time a container was seized with gold in them, it was bound to go to UAE. And that's an evidence right there. That was before the administration changed over. If you recall, it was in the news where they stopped the smuggling out of a container of gold going to UAE. So if you look at the chart you have in front of you, it shows you the Ghana official export versus UAE reported imports. Look at the gap of how much we are officially exporting in green versus how much they are importing. So if we were even taking it to them, we should be at the same level. But we're not only taking the official numbers to them. They have a way of expanding their import through the illegal means, not only from Ghana and other countries as well. So their import is increasing more than twice the level of our export.
Wow.
So that tells you where they're getting their gold from the illegal mining.
Yeah, and there are also even reports that most of the conflict-torn countries in Africa, you find out that UAE and other countries and foreign interests are majorly are playing along these because of the natural resources of these countries. And in our case, they are just being smarter than us. Professor,
they're interesting. Yep.
Yeah. Professor, to what extent has Galamsey contributed to the depreciation of the cedi to the impact on exports and imports?
Actually, when it comes to depreciation of cedi, we can look at it from our lost foreign reserves earnings that we lose in about 60% of our foreign reserves that we losing through illegal mining. So if you look at that, that is an opportunity that we're losing to bring these reserves into the system, to use it to help with the forex market. Because our depreciation, the way we have it, has to be sustained with some infusion of foreign reserves. And here we are losing about 60% of the $1.1 billion that we're losing through the forex reserve losses that you have on the diagram. So if we have 60% of $1.1 billion going through the window as a result of Galamsey, then that's telling you that if we should get that money back, we can use it to help the forex reserve in terms of helping the city maintain its value. So for us to sustain our city depreciation or stop city from depreciating, we need to have reserves at some levels, right? To help the market, because the market of city and dollar demand has to be met in order for city to maintain its value. If the city demand for city needs to be met, meaning we have to have supply for cities, for dollars for city to be able to maintain its value. So if the supply of dollars is getting affected by how much revenue or forex we're losing from Galamsey, then we're not doing ourselves any service in trying to help the city maintain its value. So there is a whole chain reaction to the impact of the lost forex earnings that we have going on at 60% of $1.1 billion. But if we can get that back, then we can keep city maybe at 10 to $1 or even below that, because then we have a lot of forex reserve. And when you talk about the import-export also putting a pressure on the city, then the forex that we get in, if we should get to recover 60% of the losses, if we can even recover that, we can also use it to help industrialize. We can use that to fund our growth activities. So there is a trickling down effect of the impact, the consequence of this activity is having an impact on the entire economy if you think about it long term. Not only the environmental impact, the economic impact alone is deeper than what you think. It goes beyond what you think. So if we can get that revenue back, then we can start some growth activities like industrialization, reduce the import. When you reduce the import, then you're helping the city appreciate, because we do not need to come up with a lot of dollars to actually be able to fund our import activities. Then we switch import with export. All right? And then we will produce the things that we can produce. But here we are, our youth is getting affected. Our human capital is getting drained away. Kids are getting involved. Matured, older population is also getting involved. Kids are not going to school. Look at the impact this is having. When money becomes enticing in illegal mining, it takes away everything that we seem to want to do for the country, especially the future. The future is in the youth. And here you are, you've made this enticing. Even leaders have made this attractive, where the youth will rather engage in illegal mining than go to school. So what are we doing? Who's going to lead this country in the next 50 years when everything is getting degraded at the pace at which it's... So it's time we wake up and be honest with ourselves. Let's not play games. Let's not play politics. And look at each other and tell ourselves the truth that this is serious. This is beyond what we think it is.
We need to think long term, as you said. And in fact, there are several, allegations against our stakeholders who are also involved in this illegal activity. And we hope they actually think about the future of this country and the future of the next generation. Professor, what are the hidden economic cost of environmental damages caused by this Galamsey? For instance, polluted river and destroyed farmland. What do you think are the hidden economic cost of environmental damages caused by Galamsey?
That's an increase in our import as far as agricultural goods are concerned. So that's the economic. If you destroy the environment, you're destroying the river, you're destroying the land. Then what you're telling me is that it's going to get to a point that the things that we even producing internally cannot be produced because we don't have the federal land that's not contaminated to produce that. If you look at the research that was published by EPA, recent research, it shows that there's mercury levels and lead in both our soil, water, and in our plants. So if we are not doing something about this, there is going to get to a point that everything we consume is going to be imported.
Yeah.
So, and that's the prices. That's the cost of living. That's going to go high. Because the prices are going to be higher, and then it's going to shoot our cost of living.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's winning in this, because the long-term effect is not favorable at all. All right. Environmentally, we're not able to drink water. Our water bills is going to be skyrocketed because our water plants don't have water to even process. All the waters are contaminated. So you're going to pay two times the price you pay for water. And if you begin importing water, I don't even know how that's sustainable. How are you going to import water? So at this point, I think it's very critical everybody stops for a minute and think long term. Don't think about yourself only. If you're making $1 million out of this, okay, good for you. But think about the future that you live in for this country. Your kids, your grandkids. You're not leaving them a country that they can even stay in. That's basically what you're doing. You take the money today, you destroy the country, and then they will have nothing left for them. Because if your land is getting destroyed, you have holes, you have pits under you, where you're standing, everything is getting, excavated below you, then where are you going to stand? Where are the streets going to go? What about the rivers? So everything is getting destroyed, then what are we holding on to? And it's an ecosystem. Our lives, we live in an ecosystem where it has to be a cohabitation of everything. The land, the water, and the human. We have to be able to, we need this to survive. So you are taking our survival away by this activity. If it continues at the pace at which it's going, then it's going to be alarming. I don't know what kind of future we can even dream of in Ghana if we continue going this way.
Exactly. Going down this path is a dangerous place to be in. And as you mentioned, we need to think long term about this Galamsey situations. It is sad to see how most of our politicians who initially said this is a national emergency, this is a problem, but now they're kind of walking back and, retracting what they said simply because of their selfish interests or whatever. And I hope they come to the realization that this is a major problem. And in fact, it is a national emergency problem. Professor, many argue that Galamsey has provided employment to the youth. And how do we weigh this against its economic consequences?
If it has provided employment, what do you ask yourself is that a sustainable employment? It's only employment for a short term.
Yeah.
How long can you be involved in this activity? At what costs? The same people that are saying that this has provided employment for some people are forgetting that we are also losing the youth in the same activity, the same time that some of them are getting employed. How many have been buried in those pits that nobody is giving us the numbers for?
Many.
Why don't you give me the number for that? Let's compare the losses versus the gains. All right, let's do the analysis, the benefit cost analysis. All right, let's analyze what is the benefits. And that's why we have to be honest, because if we're going to approach this issue must be addressed about the youth employment. What is the government doing as a substitute for youth employment to tell them that don't risk your life to do this? Okay? I know now they have equipments, but there's still, this has been a problem to the point that it has become so attractive for people to even go with their bare hands in doing this. So now we have everybody jumping on because they know we have loose enforcement on this, Galamsey activity. That's the perception out there. that I can get in and nothing will happen because the government is not going to touch me because he has his people also doing the good with the equipments on the other side. So I would do whatever I can do in my own small quarters. And then we're losing the human capital that we need to grow this country with. All right?
Yeah.
The consequence on our minds, on our brains, as a result of these chemicals, the mercury, the lead, is affecting our, ability to comprehend and accept, knowledge, the cognitive skills. So our cognitive skills is getting affected. So yes, you get the job, but it's not sustainable. How long can you do this?
Yeah.
What is the future? Is that something you want your kids to be doing, knowing how dangerous it is? That's not the kind of future you want to show your son or daughter.
Yeah.
That this is the legacy I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you a pit that I want you to continue digging. Is that a job? Is that the employment you want? Is that the future you want to show to your kids?
Yeah.
And I know deep down they would say no. Maybe they're thinking, I want to make the billions and then I will take my kid outside, because our solution is always abroad, abroad, abroad. We never look within. That's why we can solve these issues. Because everybody is looking for an opportunity outside, but they're forgetting that this is the only country we have. Wherever you go, one day you look back and want to go back to where you came from. And the countries that we run into are telling us that they don't want us. I don't care who you are, wherever you are, as long as you're Ghanaian, you're going to remain a Ghanaian. In the eyes of the people, you're still a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
I'm in America, but push come to shove, they will tell you go back where you came from. Where am I going to go? Ghana. That's the only country we have. So I don't care if you're a minister, you're giving birth to your kids all abroad in America. It doesn't make them Americans. Yes, on paper, yes, they're Americans with a passport, but they are Ghanaians. Push come to shove, one day they will be told to go back.
Yeah.
If you're not a native, you're not a native. So let's look at that home that we have and build that home. So you thinking that you have a place or you have money, you can take your kids outside the holes that you're digging and that you give them a better life somewhere else, you're mistaken. One day you look back and regret.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where I want them to start thinking. Don't think that this is a job. This cannot be a sustainable job. You make the money now, but it's not a long term.
Yeah.
One day you look back and you wish that you were back in Ghana, where your people are, and you can enjoy your life back there. And that's why this is a national 911 emergency. What we say 911 is emergency. Yours will probably be 999. It's a national emergency.
Yeah.
It's nothing that we have to play games with. If it was national emergency yesterday when MPP was on, it's still a national emergency now, even with NDC. So they have to set up and accept the fact that we all have to work together and figure this out.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Professor, let's talk about our health-related costs. What long-term effect does Galamsey have on human capital, especially related to our health? Now, there are several reports which says that the kids or babies that are born in Galamsey areas are being born with deficiencies. So what are the health-related costs of this problem?
So we have, it's as a result of the toxic exposures of mercury and lead in, in everything that we eat from. We eat from the grounds, whether you like it or not. Those people in those areas are eating from the plants. Yeah. They're eating from the harvest of the land, the water. So when there's lead and mercury in those resources, it ends up in the pregnancy. So you giving birth to kids that have low cognitive abilities, deformities, cancer, all of these things that the West is running away from, we are giving it to ourselves with our own hands. All right? And if an outbreak should happen right now, we're all going to be in bad shape. All right? It happened in Zambia in 2010. The gold processing outbreak killed a lot of children as a result of the contamination of, due to and lead and mercury.
Mercury, yeah.
In 2010, it killed a lot of children when an outbreak like that happened.
Yeah.
All right. So we have examples of where this is not going to lead us well in the future. So whether we like it or not, we have to accept the fact that we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, the future is the youth. If now we're giving birth to kids that have low cognitive skills, we're giving birth to future kids that have deformities, they have cancer, then where's the future of Ghana? Who's going to lead? There's no future.
There is no
That's why you can't win with this. It's only for a short term that you think that you're gaining, you become millionaire. And so what? At what cost? What about your kids? What about your kids' kids? You know, the grandkids.
Yeah.
And when you know more, what country are you leaving them? Trust me, they're going to be the same ones that's going to catch you for leaving them all millions of dollars that you thought you got it today. And they're going to turn around and cash you out because you have left them an environment that's not good. It's not sustainable. They can drink their own water. They can breathe good air. Everything that's bad is going to be as a result of your activity today. So that's where we have to think. And that's why this is serious more than anything you can think of.
Exactly. Professor, now let's look at the government fight against Galamsey. I mean, there has been a transition in government in the past 20 years. I think there has been 3 or 4 administrations so far. Has the government fight against Galamsey yielded any tangible economic results so far?
Not according to the data that's out there. It's getting worse. If we look at the data, in economics, we only can talk about the data. What is the facts? The facts is what you're showing right there. So we haven't changed the trend. It's getting worse by the day. Because you can only fight it if you take yourself out. But you can't fight something that you're actually part of. If the government wants to fight this, then they have to fight themselves first. They know there are people who are involved in these activities. If you want to know that we're serious, why didn't we stop issuing even licenses? Why can't we start with that? We should start day one. Let's figure this out. No more licenses for even the small legal ones. Let's stop there.
The small
and figure the terrain out. Call the chiefs. Let's have a 911 town hall meetings. Have experts come in, the health EPA come in and tell us how bad this is. Because some of these things we talking here, not everybody is listening. So let's come together. Get the EPA, the health people, let them show us the numbers in terms of the consequences. Bring the chiefs, the ones that are allowing this to happen in the back, right? Everybody involved, the population. Show us the images of the consequence, how bad this is, the videos, everything we have. That ties down to why we should have an honest conversation with each other, all stakeholders. Let's sit down and figure this out. That would tell me this government is serious. But when the government comes in, pauses for a minute and start issuing licenses, because what is happening is you issue licenses for this particular area, activities extends beyond that area, and then now it becomes illegal. Because that's what's happening. It's not like some of these guys don't have license, but they have licenses for an area that has been allocated for mining activity. But then they leave that area and extend to other areas, and they will tell you that, yes, I have a license, and my license was issued by my government, so you can't tell me anything. But the fact is, you are not doing it the legal way. So can we have those conversations? Because that's where you see, if you watch the videos clearly, most of these activities, other than the little ones, the big ones that are causing harm to the environment, has somebody in the top that has a license. but their activity has extended beyond where they're supposed to be.
Wow.
So that's why they have to stop issuing any sort of licenses until we take a deeper look at the situation and see how we can have an holistic approach, a solution to how we can go about doing these if we have to do it the right way, where the gains, like the losses are minimized. I wouldn't say the gains are recovered, but we will minimize the losses. Because like I said, Galamsey has been with us since time immemorial.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been this worse. So we can only minimize the losses. We can reverse and get everything 100%. We can minimize it by strategically coming up with a solution that is environmentally sustainable.
Exactly.
All right? Where those areas, those communities will be compensated as we pursue certain activities that is degrading to the environment. We have to equalize the losses. But we don't have any solution to equalize the losses. Even when you have a legal license to do such an activity, because it's so destructive to the environment, you have to compensate the environment through other means. But nobody is doing that right now.
Yeah.
That is what the legal license is supposed to do, to make sure that the interests of the citizens are taken care of at all costs. If you're gonna dig a hole here, you know you're causing an environment to be uninhabitable, you're causing an environment to be, undeveloped, or we can't benefit from it, then how do you pay for that on the other side? Nobody's checking on that. So there has to be some compensation for the losses that we've taken as a result of these activities. Exactly. And that's why it has to be an holistic approach where the government, the stakeholders, everybody is sitting down and being honest about this approach and thinking about the future. What are the recovery methods? What is the compensation as far as the cities and towns that are involved? Who's compensating them? What benefits are they getting from it? And it's because we failed to do this, that's why now it's becoming enticing. Because if you look at how much we've been involved in, or how long we've been involved in these activities, if you think about gold mining, for example, Obuasi has been giving us gold for years, but Obuasi has nothing to show for it. That's because of the bad contracts that we signed with those companies that came to explore gold. They've been doing gold fields for how many years and nothing to show. Obuasi has nothing to show. Obuasi should have been the eye or the beacon of the country when it comes to a country that has given the country so much, a city that has given the country so much. And because we haven't come up with a plan where Obuasi will have something other than gold to show, like a tourism, development, schools, all these things needs to be in Obuasi because they're the ones that have funded our economy for such a long time through the gold reserves or the gold that they've given us. So we have to come with a model that captures all of this. So those cities will be rewarded. If we had done that, these illegal mining wouldn't come up. It's because we haven't done that. That's why people are involved. Because they can see Obuasi has nothing to show. So they don't see the gains. We're not showing them the gains of this activity at the national scale level. So that's what needs to happen.
And most of these Galamsey sites have been made unlivable. I mean, the people they are facing a lot of health problems, and we will tie this to law enforcement or how we are managing this problem. Professor, how do weak enforcement of the laws and corruption, how has it fueled this Galamsey economic challenges so far?
It's the biggest one that we have so far, the weak enforcement of the laws and the political involvement in the process. Because it's the political involvement in this activity that has led to the weak enforcement of the laws.
Yeah.
Because if the political figures are not involved, then we could have achieved something. All right. But if the political leaders are involved in the activity, then it makes it very difficult for you to enforce anything because you are turning out to fight yourself. And that's where it gets tricky. That's why you see everybody walking back and changing the narrative. Now we playing games with the fight for Galamsey through the use of words and the words that we used in the past, that we saying that these people said this, these people said that. No, it's beyond the words. It's in our actions. Do we have the political will to start involved or engaging in the activity so we can fight it and enforce the laws? Because that's the trigger. That's the main issue why this fight is still here. And it's only going to get worse until we are honest enough to call the ones within us that we know are involved in these activities.
Yeah.
Because we are the same people that have given them the licenses. We are the same people that know that they're not operating within the guidelines of the licenses that we've given them.
Mm.
And if we don't do something about it, then we can enforce the laws outside. Because those guys who are involved know every single politician who has a hand in this.
Exactly.
So how are you going to fight them? Because if the politicians are not involved, and we call this a national emergency,
yeah,
then we will activate all critical resources to fight it, even if it's the military. Because in the US, when you say something is a national emergency, that means all resources will be deployed to fight it.
Yeah.
Even if it's the military. But we are afraid to say that because we know who are involved. And that's why you see them walking back. Because if they accept the fact that it's a national emergency, it's a national crisis, then we would deploy all resources, including the military, to fight this.
Yeah.
You see, this is why sometimes people are calling for the military leadership and people don't understand. Because all this nonsense can be called... All right, there you go. This is serious. This right there is serious. How can you watch this and go to sleep as a leader of a country?
Yeah.
Only when we have leaders that are compromised. If you're a leader who's not compromised, then you should get up and say, no, enough is enough. Let's fight this. All right?
And women are involved. I mean, yeah. And women are involved in it. That is the dangerous part of this. You look at this
Everyone
video,
is involved. Every single one, every age. And kids are getting buried through those water coming down. And there's nothing you can do about it. One is sweep someone, you walking back. Everybody's take a step back. They don't go there to save anyone. Imagine if a landslide occurs. Because on top of that is a tractor. So he's putting pressure on the land. The land up there, the hill is not sustainable. Should it collapse, everybody will go under. And people are risking their life. And you call this youth employment? Is this the kind of employment we're looking for?
Hmm.
So this is where it gets serious.
Yeah.
If this doesn't ring a bell, then I don't know what will wake us up.
Yeah.
If this video doesn't call your attention, then I don't know what else will call your attention to call it a national crisis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is serious.
All right. So that's the thing, because this is why people will say, okay, this politics and this democracy nonsense is just too much. Let's get somebody who will put a stop to this. Because trust me, somebody like Traore can stop this in 5 minutes.
Yeah. There will be effective. Yeah, there will be effective law enforcement.
There will be effective law enforcement.
Yeah.
Why do we allow this to continue? We saw this, we slept on it, and still waking up as if nothing happened. So sometimes I ask the question, do we even love ourselves? or love our neighbors? Do we love ourselves? Because this is an indication of a country that has lost it. Because you can see how this is all going to play out if we continue this route.
Yeah.
If we don't do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Professor, thank you very much. It has been a really insightful educational discussion so far. And Professor, you have seen the video. There is everyone involved. There are guys, there are women, there are children. Everyone is involved, and there's a tractor on the land. How do we re-emphasize the fact that there are alternatives? There are people who think this is how they're going to make income, to make a living.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you are in that video, I think you can even look at the video and ask yourself, is this actually my future? Is this how I want to live my life? Is this how you get up and go to work? Is that the kind of work you want to be involved in every day? That's the question we should ask ourselves. That's why I said, let's be honest with ourselves. This doesn't look good for anyone, whether you're young, old, whoever, even a politician, whatever. You can want to be a millionaire, billionaire, but not at the expense of people like this. How is this our future? But why are people involved? It's because of the lack of alternatives that we fail to give them. Why would a woman, risk her life to be in this pile, knowing that any minute I could be swept away and nobody can save my life?
Yeah.
Why do we get involved? That's why the government needs to be serious, because when we refuse to take care of our citizens, then we push them on the line like this.
Yeah.
What are the alternatives? So instead of playing games, you should look at a city like this and be like, no, it could be better. Let's get them going. What industry can we build? Let's build a refinery, right? So the gold straight, get refined there, give them a job, build a gold market, whatever you need to do it there. And let them see that their lives can be better, not this type of life in that same community.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are gold, there is a resource there, there's a mineral there. So we can leverage that and then bring the benefits back to them. All right. So right now, we're doing something. The first step to this whole headache is the pricing of gold and making sure that we're selling at a higher price. They have gold board for that now. So that's our solution number one. We have gold board. Now, gold board shouldn't be about bringing forex reserve only. All right. Can we identify areas where these gold are coming and start building those areas and show people that, yes, you guys have this, we will bring it back, and this is what would change your country, your neighborhoods. We want you to stop this, and this is what you get if you should stop. We're going to keep doing this, giving you industries, take your kids there, get them educated. When do we ever establish, a gold scholarship, gold fund scholarship? For the areas like Obuasi?
Yeah.
We should give them a scholarship for free education all the way to university. What we can do that. They're giving us the gold. What do we give them? Nothing. They don't even have a university. Do we have a university? University of Mines, yes. But is it free for the locals from Obuasi? No.
Not really. Yeah.
So why not? For years they've been giving out gold. At least the locals, the natives, should have scholarship there. You think if there's scholarship opportunity, knowing that I get a free education from primary school all the way to university, I graduate, there's an industry, there's a company I can work for, I'll go and dig my into these holes? No, the kids won't go, because there's future somewhere that they're looking at. Nobody wants to work in this debt. But if they find an alternative where I could go to school and come and work for an industry in a much more safer, cleaner environment, I would rather choose that than put myself in this danger.
Yeah.
So it's all about choices, alternatives. We have to provide alternatives. Until we do that, we can't solve the problem.
Yeah. Professor, what lessons can Ghana learn from countries that have faced this similar illegal mining challenges? You gave an example with Zambia back in 2010. Now, Ghana, it is 2025, and we are living we are living, as the white people will say, a third world country. I mean, what lessons can we learn to be, I mean, to reshape our environment in terms of economic and environmental sustainability? What lessons can we learn from other countries?
We have issues, the lessons we can learn. We can see the bad ones and learn the good ones. Tanzania had to deal with this issue, all right?
Yeah.
And then they formalize the system, all right, through cooperatives. They change their licensing inspection to reduce mercury in the environment, on the land, on the plant, and in the river. So we have an example from Tanzania to learn. Botswana did that with their diamonds. Botswana is #1, the top 10 growing economy in the world. So nothing is far from us. All right. Peru did that with their Amazon forest reserves. Yeah. So we have examples of the good ones that we can learn. Because if we fail to do the good ones, then we have an issue like Nigeria has in 2010 with Zamfara, where lead poisoning from gold mining killed children and caused long-term disabilities. They should go to Zamfara and ask what happened then. Yeah. The human capital loss over there. Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
Is the reason why they can get peace is because of the child labor involving diamond. Yeah. So we have example of, if we don't solve this problem, we don't want another Congo happening in Ghana.
Yeah, and the Congo one is very serious, and it is still ongoing.
It's ongoing for how many years?
Yeah.
Because the political leadership has been compromised. People are making billions on top of these poor folks. And that's the scenario we're walking into. We are gradually carrying ourselves to that situation, whether you like it or not. That's why I want us to put the political party colors aside and talk to ourselves honestly. That if we keep playing games, changing the goalposts from MPP to NDC, walking back, we keep going back and forth, eventually we're going to find ourselves at the Congolese level. May God forbid, because that's a level we don't ever want to anticipate getting there.
Yeah, that is a very dangerous atmosphere, and the human casualties is very, very high. And
we do not want to get to that level, because the problem with what we refusing to see is that because there is foreign interest right now involving Ghana, we have the Chinese bringing arms. We have the interested #1 buyer in UAE. So what we eventually doing is that we arming people that are already criminals. And the moment they get bigger and continue to get bigger by us playing politics, MPP, NDC, switching and running and switching and running, these guys are getting bigger on the other side illegally. Very soon they're going to be empowered to even fight the government should we come fight it, trying to fight them. And that is Congolese situation. And the outside, the foreign investment in the criminal activities is what we are afraid. Because if you look at all the videos, all the movies made on diamond, one thing you can walk away with is the foreign interest in those areas, why they can have peace. And we slowly allowing that.
Yeah.
How many times have we caught Chinese and Indians with arms?
And even now, Ghanaians armed illegal miners were caught just last week.
That's what I'm saying, because they're bringing it, they can't show it outside, but Ghanaian can come out and show it. So eventually, the funding is going to come from those angles and empower these criminals to take over these mining activities, and they are going to have gangs and guerrilla camps that nobody can penetrate. And then it's going to be too powerful for the government to fight. That's my fear. That's the future I'm afraid of. And that's why we need to talk about this and let the government realize that, listen, it's not about any political interest. It's not about the few people within our party that are benefiting from this. It's about the nation going forward.
Yeah.
Because in the future, these criminals are going to be empowered with guns and everything to take over the country.
Yeah.
Because they're going to build territories that nobody can go to and fight them. Even the military will find hard to stop them.
Yeah.
And that's where we don't want to get to.
Yeah.
And that's how, you know, the issue with Democratic Republic of Congo happened. It started like a joke, and they let it go, let it go, let it go. Now it has overtaken the country.
Yeah. And in this
Is
video,
that the kind of country we want?
We are slowly allowing it. In this video, it was a clash between the Galamsey task force and some illegal miners who are the locals, and it was a gun exchange in this situation.
There you go.
This was, I think, about a month ago or 2 weeks ago, I think. And
okay, so this is very recent. You're saying this is very recent.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's level 100 of what we're talking about. This is level 100 of what the future looks like in Ghana if we don't stop this. You don't want this to get to the master's level.
Yeah, as you can see in the video.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
You know, so these are locals with guns.
Yeah.
So how did they get the guns? That's something we have to even think about. So now we have loose system that's allowing infiltration of arms that nobody is checking. Nobody knows how to even stop the infiltration of guns. So we have a lot of issues to deal with. And that's why I'm saying this is level 100 of the issue we're dealing with.
Yeah.
All right. So you can think of Congolese being at the PhD level of this activity. The DRC is at the PhD level. We are at level 100. So if we don't stop this, it's going to get out of hand, and may God forbid we can handle it.
Yeah.
People will just have to, we just have to run and leave the country to these guys, because that's the kind of system that we're building right now, which is why it's a national crisis. A crisis where a civilian will pull a gun out and face a law enforcement officer. If that doesn't ring a bell, then I don't know what else would ring a bell. And you still playing politics with this? It's not, we never called it a national emergency. Who cares? But we have a national emergency right now.
Yeah.
I don't care what you called it yesterday, but today it's a national emergency because we have a situation where a civilian who is involved in this activity is taking on arms out, open, facing the law enforcement. And you're going to get on the radio, try to defend your position yesterday? No, we're not talking about yesterday. We're talking about today. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't care about what you said yesterday, but what are we doing today? Do you see how serious it is? The answer is yes. Then do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Professor, thank you very much. It has been a really insightful discussion. And there's a major challenge facing us, and I think people are sort of massaging it. We have a problem, we have a big problem, and this has to be checked, because otherwise I don't see the future of Ghana, the reality in the next 10 to 20 years. There's going to be a really devastating situation. Professor, now let's turn to the Hausa language. For the benefit of our viewers who understand the Hausa language, how would you summarize today's discussion on the Galamsey challenges facing this country?
To masu saurare mu yau kuma mun shiga wani karatu ko kuma wani sura daban wanda ya danganci abin nan, wato shi arzikinmu na gold da ke cikin garinmu na zinariya gold kenan, inda muka tattauna kan cewa lokaci ya kai mu dawo da rakiyan yanda muke wasa kan wannan lamari, saboda ababen da bincike ke kawowa kan wannan lamari na masu neman gold ta kan hanyar da ba daidai ba ya yi yawa kwarai, saboda mun samu labarai ko reporting da ke zuwa kan cewa yanzu ma kasa ko ruwa da muke amfani da shi gida ya lallace saboda yanda masu neman wannan abin arziki ke bata kasanmu da abin ga ruwanmu da muke amfani wanda ke zama ruwan da muke sha gida, inda yake kawo mana cikas ko kuma abin ga kalubale cikin wasu ababa da yawa na yanda rayukanmu zai tafi. Wayansu wajajen ma an ce ma lafiyan yara ma yana tabuwa, kuma abin fahimtarsu wato kwakwalwarsu duka zai iya samun matsala cikin wa'annan aikace-aikacen da muke yi na neman arzikin gold. To lokaci ya kai, muna cewa lokaci ya kai shugabanninmu su bar wasa da hankalinmu kan cewa abin nan ya zama abu ne da kowa ya kamata ya gane, ba abin politics bane. Mu tashi mu yi da juna gaskiya, kasancewa in ba mu duba abin nan ba ya zo ya fi karfinmu. Muka duba garrukan da suka yi wasa da irin wa'annan lamurra lokacin da ya soma, yanzu ya zama abin da ya fi karfin kowa, kamar Democratic Republic of Congo, inda muke cewa su abin ya fi karfin su, ya zama wani abu daban, ba kwanciyar hankali, ba zaman lafiya, kowa na ta kansa. Saboda me yasa miyagu da mutane da ke cin amfanin irin wayan ga arziki da dama mutane ne ko kasashe ne na waje, inda suke kawo arziki suna ba wayan ga mugayen mutane, suna ɗebe kansu cikin wannan ayyukan saboda kan gwamnati ya kawo musu hari. To irin wanga shi ke kawo muna matsala, da inda ya kamata mu gane cewa in ba mu yi kuratun yanzu mun nemi bakin ko maganin shi ba, yanzu zai zama muna matsala gaba. So abu ne ya kai, ba lokacin yin politics bane, ba lokacin yin siyasa bane, ba lokacin cewa ai ga abin da MPP suka faɗi, ga abin da NDC suka yi ko wayansu ababa. Lokaci ne ya kai mu duba kanmu, mu yi da juna gaskiya, ya abin nan mu zai kasance nan zuwa shekara 20 ko 40, ya za mu kasance in dai ababen da ke tafiyan gana tafiya yanda yake yin ga. Saboda wayannan mutane sun kullum karfi suke karo, suna samun karin karfi saboda mutanen da ke cin amfanin halin da muke ciki. Dan amfani na tattalin arziki ko arzikin da ke zuwa kasan kadan ne saboda irin wayanga ayyukan da ke faruwa, dan ba kan anya suke bi ba. So inda za su sayar ma farashin da suke samu ba wanda ya kamata su samu bari, kuma sun fi amincewa da wannan da su allow abin nan gwamnati yayi yanda ya kamata a samu amfani na kowa. So a takaice inda dai muka tattauna muka ajiye kenan, da fatan cewa mun dawo kuma mu ƙara san lokaci yayi.
Okay. Professor, to wrap the show up, my final question to you today is, what could be Ghana's economic reality if this illegal galamsey continues unchecked in the next 20 years?
It's sad to say that it's going to affect every aspect of our economy, our life. It's going to be a public health crisis, number one. Number two, the continued loss of revenue and earnings is going to continue. So I would rather anticipate a situation where solution is found really critical, like urgent solution is found on this matter. Beginning, number one, with legal declaration of the situation as an emergency. We have to be bold to call it an emergency. All right? And then institutionally, we have to reallocate certain resources. So if we can invoke constitutional or emergency powers in certain affected districts and nationwide zones, then we can then override and give people the authority at a central level or cross-agency task force kind of thing, where we have the EPA, the Armed Forces, the Judicial Minerals Commission, and the health sector all working together.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm calling for Armed Forces involvement is, as you can see in your video, the police might not be able to contain this.
Yeah.
That's why I said, some people will even say that's why democracy is bad. Because if we cannot use the institutions we have right now to solve this, then we have to activate the emergency clause and bring the armed forces as soon as possible to solve this problem.
Okay.
We have to contain it. All right? That's number one. And then we have to have emergency health and water remediation response. How do we ensure that we regain our water problem as soon as possible? Okay, because they're telling you that the water processing plants are complaining that they don't have good water to even process to feed our pumps. So if this is not an emergency, I don't know when would it be an emergency.
Yeah.
The water processing companies are telling you that we don't have good water to process to feed your pumps, and you're telling me that it's not an emergency.
Yeah.
All right. And then using technology, we can actually stop the illegal smuggling and sales of our gold outside by putting traceability on the golds that we sell. All right, like blockchain. We can use blockchain to identify, put QR codes on our gold, and then we can recover all our revenues that we're losing, because we know that illegal gold that's coming from Ghana has a unique identity in terms of a blockchain or a QR code that everybody will associate it with it. All right, and then we should seek external jurisdiction to comply with that.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we should finance alternative livelihood and social support system for these youth that are involved in this activity.
Yeah.
All right? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Professor, thank you very much. I think we are out of time, and it's been a really educative and insightful discussion. And this has to be a wake-up call for Ghana as a whole, because I mean, we have seen the videos, and there are videos much worse than these videos. This should be a wake-up call for Ghana as citizens and as the government and as a nation as a whole. We have got to do something to put an end to this illegal mining activities. Professor, thank you very much. I think we'll call it a day today, and until next week. Dear cherry viewers, thank you for watching. You can watch this program anytime by visiting our Facebook page and YouTube channel at YUSUF TV, like and also contributing by leaving a comment at the comment section below. Until next time, it is bye for now.
Thank you.
Yeah.